Again, I thank everyone for joining the Bhakti Sangha conference call. Happy Rama Ekadasi today to all the devotees here in USA. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada, this is Preeti Vilasini, Devdasi from Atlanta. Thank you, Mataji, for your moment.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada, thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji, all glory Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumar Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. My Dandavat Pranam to you and to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to the assembled devotees. This is Pooja Arora from Haridwar, Mataji. Happy Ekadashi to all the devotees.
Hare Krishna, Pooja Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna, happy Rama Ekadashi to you, Mataji, too.
Yes, Mataji, in Haridwar, in India, the Ekadashi will be tomorrow.
Yes, Mataji. Today
yes,
for us.
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
If you would like to introduce, please introduce yourself, please.
Hi Krishna, Krishna Mataji. This is
Hare Krishna, Sham Gauri Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, and to all the assembled devotees. This is Megha from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Megha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Induleka Karna Devidasi from LinkedIn. Mataji, Prabhuji has also joined.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for coming us in the call. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining us this morning and giving your valuable association and for enlightening us on the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, 3rd chapter and 23 verse. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, I would like to give to Tiffany Mataji to give a brief introduction about Prabhuji. Sorry about that. Tiffany Mataji, please go ahead with the introduction, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today, we are so fortunate to have with us His Grace, Dr. Keshavanand Prabhuji. Prabhuji is a professional doctor and monk. For the last 20 years, he has conducted extensive research and authored books in the fields of science and spirituality. He feels the rift between science and spirituality must disappear to bring peace in the world. If spirituality is a superstition and a myth, science is materialistic and atheistic. A new approach to life is needed today that can bring the best of both. Science must re-embrace spirituality and be humble to admit its defects, flaws, and ignorance. And spirituality must base itself on sound scientific and rational ideas. Dr. Keshavanand found his new approach in the Sanskrit sutras of the Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita. For decoding the Sanskrit sutras of the Vedas and Bhagavad Gita, he studied Sanskrit and Western and Indian philosophy. Besides Sanskrit, he also learned Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, and Kannada to know about other traditions. His persistent endeavor in the field of science and spirituality has enabled him to come up with the seminars on diverse topics like science and the Vedas, mind and machine, science fails to explain life, consciousness, and beyond. He has presented these seminars in various colleges in India, Europe, and America. Under the guidance of his spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami, he has also started a Gurukul, a traditional system of Vedic education in Punjab, India, where children learn the ancient Vedic culture and values. Besides this, he has started a farm community. Wow. The community has a traditional way of living with mud huts and thatch roofs, with cows, and of course, farming. The communities will set a model for the world to show how to live a life based on the spiritual principle of simple living and high thinking. Hare Krishna, welcome to the call, Prabhuji. Wonderful to see you again.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Sri Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I would like to thank you so much for coming on the call and enlightening on the topic, Prabhu. I will hand over the call to you, Prabhu. Please take over.
You know what? Somebody can read this?
Sure.
Verse.
Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3, text, verse 23. Namo charana mahatmyam hare pasyata putraka ajamilopi yenaiva mrityupashad amuchyata. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear servants, who are as good as my sons, just see how glorious is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. The greatly sinful Ajamila chanted only to call his son, not knowing that he was chanting the Lord's holy name. Nevertheless, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, he remembered Narayana, and thus he was immediately saved from the ropes of death. Purport: there is no need to conduct research into the significance of chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. The history of Ajamila is sufficient proof of the power of the Lord's holy name and the exalted position of a person who chants the holy name incessantly. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Galau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatir Anyata. In this age of Kali, no one can perform all the ritualistic ceremonies for becoming liberated. That is extremely difficult. Therefore, all the Shastras and all the Acharyas have recommended that in this age, one chant the holy name. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So I'll just begin this. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishit Sunnavadi Paschatishta. Okay, so we have this verse. Yamaraj is telling to his servants that the power of holy name, and as we can see that the holy name is so powerful that even if it's chanted without understanding, it gives its effect. I mean to say, even if you chant holy name with not actually just without understanding, but with a misunderstanding, then also it will give itself. That's the power of holy name. This kind of facility is not found in other processes. Gyan yoga, dhyan yoga, if you, in fact, even karma yoga, if you make any mistakes, the process doesn't give that result. And of course, and it might also give sometimes negative results. But bhakti yoga, especially chanting of holy names, is so nice that even if you make any mistakes, not only those mistakes are pardoned, but you are given the benefit of chanting the holy names. So, but the point here is the benefits of chanting of holy name. There are different gradations of benefits of chanting of holy name. That's the point there. It's not necessary. So it's not like that. So anybody who chants holy name, he will get love of God. That's not the point there. The point is to help us understand that the holy name is all powerful and all merciful, and so that we surrender to holy name. That's the point there. The point is not that, okay, fine, holy name can be chanted in any way so that it will give effects, so benefits, so let's get the benefit. That's not the point there. The idea is the idea of these kind of verses is to inspire conditioned souls to chant holy names with a proper mood. That's the idea there. These kind of verses are found all over the scriptures, and there's so many verses which say that even if you chant once, you'll get liberation. And many people who chanted, they went to Vaikuntha even without understanding what they're doing. All these examples are there, but they're all there to glorify the holy name and not to accept these examples as a process to achieve God. We have to keep in mind, all these examples are there not to impress upon a mind that this is the sadhana. Just like Ajamil, Ajamil was sinful and chanted the holy names, and it is said that he remembered Narayan and he was immediately saved from ropes of death. So are we supposed to follow his example? Are we supposed to become sinful and bring all the prostitutes in the house and and just that's not the point. And is this verse making the point? Okay, so Ajamil was greatly sinful, he chanted, so he got the benefit. So anyway, I'm not sinful and we are practicing spirituality, so we will get more benefit than Ajamil. Devotion is not about thinking in benefit. If you're thinking in that way, it's completely a wrong way of thinking. In devotion, there is no benefit or disbenefit or loss. Krishna himself says in Gita, what's that? One should be equiposed in loss and victory, isn't it? In sorrow and happiness, we are absolutely not concerned with loss and victory, but we are concerned with Krishna. That's all. We are concerned with the person Krishna, and we are concerned with the fact that we want to love, and we want to be loved by him. That's our concern. So, and if that's the concern, then you have to properly understand what is the process of chanting. How do we chant? And how, so what's abhidhay? What's the sadhana? The process. So these kind of verses, they help us to develop faith in holy name. Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that Chaitanya Charita uses the word, generally we say chanting the holy names, but Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami uses the words Prem Nam or Nam Ruchi. The idea is not to chant the holy names, just like, I mean to say, Ajamil was calling his son and suddenly he remembered, oh, this is the name of Narayan. That's not the way. The way is not to chant the holy names. The way is our path of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Nam Ruchi, to develop Ruchi in chanting of holy names. Ruchi means, let's see, Ruchi means interest in chanting of holy names. Yeah, I think that's a good translation there. Interest in chanting of holy names. Or Prem Nam, that's even a higher stage. You chant holy names with love and feelings. That is the idea there. So there are many, I mean to say, that's a topic of perennial discussion, that how to chant. And Srila Prabhupada, he made many statements throughout his books, but some of the statements have, I don't know, unfortunately, become famous, and people follow that. But devotees follow that, but they don't see the whole picture, and then they can chant properly. Srila Prabhupada said, for example, he said, chant and hear the sound vibration. Srila Prabhupada said, when you chant, there's no question of mind, simply chant. And that's, of course, true. But Prabhupada said many other things. These kind of statements by Srila Prabhupada might be very useful at the beginning. But when you advance, then Prabhupada says, chant like a cry of a child for his mother, his or her mother. Or Prabhupada says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you chant with a proper attitude, and holy name of Krishna is Krishna himself. In Ante Leela, Srila Prabhupada says, and quotes Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you should chant in such a way so that you can remember his form, pastimes, and qualities. That's the nectar of instruction also. So Shravan Das, Varan Das, Smaran Das, Sampatti Das, it's a nectar of instruction, by the way. So there are various levels of instructions of Srila Prabhupada. That is why the point I'm bringing is there are various levels of glorification of holy name. You have to understand that. This kind of glorification, what we are reading in Ajamil's incidents, that's to help us understand holy name is very powerful. And so surrender to it. But the point here to be understood is don't use it. Serve the holy name. Don't use it for your benefit. Or in other words, don't take undue advantage of holy names. That's the idea there. Okay, Ajamil got benefited, so I'll also get benefited. This is absolutely non-devotional. You're out of devotion. Then it means jnana karma adhyana. Our devotion is covered with material desires if we are thinking like this. So the question is why these kind of verses are given. Even if you chant the holy names, he was immediately saved from ropes of death. So okay, let me chant and I'll be saved from ropes of death. No, we're not interested in liberation. We're interested in love. Or somebody might think, okay, Ajamil was chanting, but I'm initiated and I'm chanting with some understanding. So definitely I'm like going back to God. No, that's not the point. The point is not that. There are many verses in Srimad Bhagavatam which say, even if you chant the holy names while slipping, Helaya Stobha, or while criticizing somebody else, you say these Hare Krishna people, they are like, oh, they are nonsense, like criticizing. Or if you say Hare Krishna in a rock, jazz something, but you don't know what's Hare Krishna, but you're doing a jazz of Hare Krishna. So these kind of situations, Bhagavatam says, still the chanter is benefited. But are we supposed to do like that? No, of course not. So that is why these kind of verses, what happened was, people read these kind of verses without any sampradaya, and they hear these kind of verses here and there, and there's a benefit. People start chanting, of course. But if they don't connect to a guide, a guru, a spiritual master, sampradaya, what happens is they get stuck on the same platform. They think, okay, it's beneficial, so I'm chanting, so it will be beneficial. That's full stop. And that is why, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he faced a lot of problem, and even Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when they were preaching in Bengal, and people were in Bengal. If you go, people are chanting 24 hours. There's no. 24 hours. I mean, people are chanting for 72 hours. They have a function of Sapta Prahari function. 72 hours is chanting. Villages are coming. People are hearing. People think they are devotional. They are, of course, devotional. They're chanting holy names, but they might not be because they're not chanting with proper attitude and proper understanding. So merely chanting the holy names, knowingly or unknowingly, might not take you to your goal of life, which is love of God. If you chant unknowingly, definitely you're not getting love of God. It's impossible. Jamil didn't attain love of God, by the way. He was saved from ropes of death. He was given a chance to chant and develop his love. He went to Hardwar after that, after he was saved from Yamdut, all these like crazy Yamdut. And Vishnudut told him, you go to Hardwar and you start to your practice. And he did that, and then he didn't love, and then finally the same force Vishnudut reappeared, and they took him to Vaikuntha. That's what happened with him. So as far as we are concerned, people think, okay, so so we'll get benefit and we chant. So that's the problem which Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisanta were facing when they were preaching in Bengal. In Bengal, everybody knows Hare Krishna, even if when a child knows Hare Krishna. So people were telling, okay, well, people were telling what kind of preaching you are doing. We are chanting, so that's okay. You are chanting, we are chanting. That's okay. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, no, you are not chanting. That was his message. Bhaktisanta said that you're not chanting, but they told him, well, we just did a kirtan festival and was 3 days and there was continuous chanting and we were chanting. Why you're saying we're not chanting? Bhaktisanta said, no, you're not chanting. You're simply uttering some letters of holy name. Now that was a very revolutionary concept because it's not evident in scriptures, even in Bhagavatam here. It's not evident. I mean to say, Jamil was sinful and he chanted Hare Krishna even without directing his attention towards God, towards Narayan. His attention was focused towards his child. He was calling his child, but he got the benefit of chanting the holy names. So, well, people will say, okay, and if he's chanting the names, so we also chanting names. Our mind is distracted here and there, but that doesn't matter because at least we are pious. We are not sinful like a Jamil. So you'll get the benefit. Yes, you'll get the benefit, but you'll not attain the goal of your life, love of God. That's the key there. So that's why Bhaktisanta said, well, we don't think so that you are chanting. You are not chanting holy names. You are just speaking some letters, Hare Krishna. That's all. Now, why they said like that? So there was a concept, of course, by the way. The technical concept was Nam Akshar. You're not taking Nam, but you're taking Nam Akshar. You are just babbling some letters of holy name. The idea was not that they will not get any benefit by chanting holy names. Even the mere letters, uttering of mere letters of holy name will give benefit. But their idea was in perspective of attaining the goal of life, love of God. In relation to that, then this is not considered holy name. It is not prem nam. This is something, some letters. That's all. So what did Jamil do? Did Jamil chant holy name? Well, he didn't chant holy name. He chanted some letters of holy name. If you really think about it, if you really go in details, he was chanting his son's name, Hare Krishna. He didn't have any conception of pleasing God. He didn't have any conception of even calling him, even remembering him. He chanted mere letters. And that is why he didn't attain love of God. But nevertheless, he was saved because even letters of name has some benefit. So, and that is where Bhaktisanta said, well, Bhaktivinoda Thakur introduced the concept of Nam Aprad, Nam Abhas, and Shuddhana. This is a beautiful concept. And they were preaching this all around Bengal, and people were having a hard time to understand that. And they said, well, Shuddha Nam is real Nam. pure holy name, which can award you love of God, which can award you Krishna himself. Below that, whatever you're chanting, we don't call it as holy name, we call it as chanting the letters of holy name, Nam Aksharam. And then there are two subcategories in Nam Aksharam, Nam Aparadha and Nam Abhas. So Nam Aparadha means you're chanting the letters of holy name with offensive mentality. Nam Abhas means you're chanting holy names, the letters, without offenses, with some understanding, knowingly. Yeah, so that's Namabhas. So what we are doing is we are doing Namabhas. We are not taking Shuddha Nam. We're chanting letters, Namaksharam, with some understanding. So we are at this stage of Namabhas. We are getting a reflection of real holy name because we are chanting mere letters. We are chanting Hare Krishna. That's it. But as we attain proper attitude and as we attain proper understanding what we are doing and proper feelings, right attitude, right feelings, and right concepts. If we have these three things, right thinking, right feeling, and right willing, thinking, feeling, willing, then slowly we will approach holy names. We'll get in touch with holy name. Otherwise, we are simply chanting letters. But nevertheless, even letters of holy name gives us benefit. Namabhas stage where we are, it will give us benefit of auspiciousness, of various realizations, how to advance. And it's not that we are on Namaprad stage and now Namabhas stage and now Shuddhanam. It doesn't happen like that. We are fluctuating between Namaprad and Namabhas. In the morning, our chanting might be good and we are in Namabhas stage. We are getting shadow of holy names. We are feeling nice. In the night, we are frustrated by chanting. We are tired and our mind is completely off. Then that goes to Namaprad. Sometimes it goes to offense against holy name. So we are fluctuating between both of these stages. And Shuddhanam, we are nowhere around that platform. So our target is pure holy name. You see, it's so I'll give you an example. Suppose you have 4 friends, and all those 4 friends, they are not good in studies, and you are also like that. You're not good in studies, and you stay with them, and so those friends praise you, and you praise them. Oh, okay, fine. You're studying nicely, and they praise you're studying nicely, and things are going. But you all are getting pass marks. That's okay, and you're happy. But then a topper of the class joins your camp, and what happens? What happens is then suddenly dawns upon you that we are not studying nicely. We are nonsense. You're simply having a pass marks. But suddenly it dawns upon you, well, it's a topper. It's not enough to pass. We have to top in the class. And that really counts. That will help you to actually imbibe the subject and go forward in life. So suddenly it dawns upon you. Otherwise, without the company of the topper, you were okay, fine. We are passing and life is going on. We are enjoying. That's fine. But when you find your company with the topper, then you get the desire. Okay, I will also top. I must stop. Otherwise, I'm useless. What's the point of passing? You see, perspective changes. So until unless we don't have the sight of a goal, love of God, then we think, okay, chanting is good, nice, we'll get benefit, some auspiciousness, some happiness, some satisfaction. Your friends who are at the same level, they even don't have sight of love of God. They will also say, okay, it's nice, we are chanting nicely, let's be together. But suppose if you meet somebody who is some devotee who is completely focused towards love of God, he wants love of God, he or she wants love of God at any cost in this life before death. And then suddenly it will dawn upon you, my God, our chanting is what? We have to attain love of God. Our chanting is useless in respect to that goal. That's the point I'm talking about. When the children got association of topper, then they understood it's not enough to become to pass. It's actually useless. So when you get association of devotees who remind you the aim of life is love of God. It is nothing more and nothing less than that. Then we understand, oh my God, whatever we're chanting, it's of no use. It's simply for some satisfaction, happiness, peace, which is absolutely not at all in the mind of a devotee. On the other hand, you see, devotion is something very different. It's not achinte khalu e bhavana tam sarke na yojayet. Devotion is all about, it's not about, really, it's not about happiness. It's about sorrow. And that is why one of the great saints, he said, the secret of success in devotion lies in sorrow and not in happiness. And that's what Mahaprabhu showed us. Last 12 years of his life, he was weeping, he was crying, he was smashing his head on the stone. So that is devotion is completely 360 degrees turn off your mental setup. Completely upside down. Whatever conceptions we have, it's completely upside down. Completely upside down. And that is why Krishna says, Manushanam says, also out of thousands of devotees, Manushanam Sahasreshu Kashitatati Siddhaye, out of thousands of people, one will come to devotional life. And out of thousands of people who are devotees, only one will attain me. So that's the idea. So we have to understand this concept of Nama Prad, Nama Bhas, and Shudnam. Otherwise, we'll not understand anything in this Ajamil incidents. It will simply become a story and we will feel nice. Okay, Ajamil chanted, he got benefits, so we are also chanting. And so we'll also get benefit. But that's not the idea of this story. The idea of this story is to simply glorify the power of holy names. At the same time, to inform us that don't take undue advantage of the power of holy names. Put your effort and chant properly in order to attain the goal of life, love of God. That's the complete story of Ajamil. Now, if you read Bhagavatam, if you read the verses of Bhagavatam, original verses, this concept is not there. Now, this concept is introduced by our Sampradaya. And that is why it is said, Sampradaya Vihina Je Mantrate Nishphalamata. Without Sampradaya, your chanting is not successful because this concept is kept secret in Sampradaya. People who join Sampradaya and they take knowledge, they are told this secret. They are given this proper understanding. And then we can chant properly in a proper mood and then attain love of God. So in other words, Ajamil got success or failure. Well, if you think about it, Ajamil actually failed. In other words, he got success in the idea. The idea is he could chant holy names at the time of death, but and of course he was saved from going to hell, keeping in mind his extremely sinful life. By the same time, he failed because he didn't attain love of God at that point of moment when he was dying. Later he attained. That's another thing. At that point of time, he failed. So he managed to chant the holiness and remember Narayan, and the verse says he could escape the ropes of death. So that is so powerful, chanting. So chanting is powerful, but he was weak and he failed. We see the entire story of Srimad Bhagavatam Ajamil with both perspectives, with the glories and the power of holy name on one side. On the other side, the failure of Ajamil to actually attain Krishna and love of God before death. It's both ways round. And then one wonders, well, if holy name is so powerful, then why did Ajamil fail? Then the question comes, Shudhanam, Nam Akshar, Nam Abhas, Nam Aparadh. Ajamil was chanting the holy names without offenses, and also without purity, both of them. without offenses and without purity. So he was somewhere hanging in the middle. In Namabha stage, he was getting shadow of holy names in form of letters, what he was chanting. But it helped him. It helped him. So this is the way. This is one way to look at this whole story of Jamin. There is but another way to look at this whole incident of Jamin, and that way is through the eyes of Krishna. Now, anybody who chants the names of Krishna, Krishna is aware of that. That is taking my holy name, whether knowingly or unknowingly. And he wants to give us mercy. First thing you have to understand, Krishna wants to give us mercy. That's very important to understand. His mercy is not conditioned like our actions are conditioned. His mercy doesn't depend on our acting properly or acting according to his dictates. No. His heart is merciful. That's why his mercy is called as ahetuki, causeless. His heart flows with mercy for living entities. Just like mother. Mother doesn't want, mother doesn't require a precondition that the child should do something good and then she'll be merciful and loving to the child. No, irrespective of child doing whatever it wants, and even if a child does something very stupid and very bad, still the heart of the mother overflows with mercy and love for the child. That's what is mother all about. Mother is like that. That's the nature of the heart of the mother. And Krishna is a mother and father. So he wants to give us mercy at any cost. Now, so he's finding some excuses to give us mercy. And that's the idea there. Because we're all like stressed out people, lost. We don't know what's the benefit. We don't even want God. We don't want his mercy. So, but he's finding excuses to give us mercy. So that is why anybody who chants holy name, even without understanding, just like Ajamil did, Krishna says, okay, fine. He chanted my holy name, I'll give him mercy. He makes an excuse like that. But then devotees who chant holy names with full understanding and with love, that Krishna is completely merciful. He wants that. But then he has to decide, but Krishna has to decide if he gives the same mercy to, so if he gives the same mercy to the person who is chanting without understanding, and the same to the person who is chanting with a lot of feelings and understanding, then that will be not a proper judgment, and then that will be partiality. So he extends his mercy, but then he extends his mercy intelligently. So he gives the mercy to the person who is unknowingly chanting like a Jamil, but that mercy is not of such a high level as the mercy given to the person who is chanting with love and feelings. The result is different. Mercy is there, but the amount of mercy is different. So to the person who is chanting unknowingly and like that, he gives liberation. The person who is chanting with right thinking, right feeling, right willing, he gives love of God. He gives himself. But nevertheless, he gives mercy. So that's the idea. So that is why all Acharyas says that below chanting of, below Shuddhanam, whatever we are chanting, Namabhas or whatever Namaprad, Krishna is giving us mercy. He's making excuses to give mercy. But the point is, we are forcing him to serve us. He has to think about us. Okay, let me find an excuse to extend my mercy to this soul. And that's the worst thing what a servant wants from the master. Servant doesn't want the master to think about him. That's third class servant. The master should think about me. First class servant is I should think about my master. So at the stage of Namabhas, we are taking service from God. And that's the worst thing. So Ajamil, what he did was, he took service from God. He was simply chanted Krishna's name, Narayan. He was calling his son. And in Narayan's eyes, he chanted his name. So he made an excuse. Oh, Ajamil chanted my name, I should give him mercy. He sent his Vishnu to. But Ajamil was happy, but at the same time, a pure devotee is not happy. What Ajamil did was, he took service from Narayan. And that's the big problem. Devotee will never accept taking service from God, from his master. He will rather die. And that is why it's very important for us to attain Shuddhanam at any cost. Below chanting of Shuddhanam, we will always be demanding service from God. And he will serve us. He likes to serve his devotees, but at the same time, it pains the devotees. That is it is a necessity of life to become pure and chant Shuddhanam, and so that we don't give any opportunity to Krishna to serve us. That is how devotees see this whole situation as. So Ajamil was sinful. Yeah, he did murders, he robbed, he did so many things. But at the same time, Ajamil was sinful in devotees, pure devotees' eyes. There was another sin which he was carrying, and the sin was, he forced God to think about him at the time of death. And that's a subtle sin, but sin in the eyes of pure devotees. So as devotees, we must be very careful to not allow Krishna to think about us. He will think. The mother will think about the child 24 hours. She can't stop. The child should not do such a thing that the mother has to overthink about the child and plan, or I have to do something with this boy, God. It's, things are going overboard. And so this gives anxiety to the mother. So Krishna is very anxious to extend his mercy to us. And how to do that? He finds excuses. Okay, anybody who chants Krishna, then people might say, okay, he didn't chant with understanding and with no feelings, so why are you giving mercy? Krishna says, no, well, anyway, he chanted my name. Chanted my name. So I must give him something. That's how Krishna thinks in his mind. And he extends his mercy. So like that. But a pure devotee doesn't want that. That's the whole idea. So that's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, it is not enough to stay at the platform of Kanishta and Madhyam. Even Namabhas stage is not actually welcome. Although at the stage of Namabhas, everything goes good, it's auspicious, Krishna takes care of his devotees, he gives mercy, he gives happiness, but we are not satisfied. That's not what we want. Gopis told Lord Chaitanya, in the mood of Gopis, he's singing in Chaitanya Charitamrita Leela. He's thinking, no, I am not satisfied with your mercy, Krishna. I don't want your mercy. I want you. That's the idea. I want you. People who are satisfied with your mercy, let them be satisfied. But I want you to target the mercy of God, Krishna, and not Krishna. That is a materialistic approach. You want things of Krishna, but you don't want Krishna. It is in a very subtle sense. It is a demoniac approach. Ravan wanted Sita and not Ram. Sita is embodiment of mercy. He was a demon. So that's the same thing. We want mercy of Krishna and we don't want Krishna. It's a demoniac mentality. We're not demons, but it's a demoniac mentality. So that's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, anybody who is the platform of Namabhas, or Namapradha is anyway out of picture. Anybody is at the platform of Namabhas, he is at a big risk. He's carrying a demoniac mentality. And he fall into illusion. We have to, and the risk is not falling down. The risk is he is demanding service from God. Krishna has to take care of him, and Krishna has to think about him. But devotion is all about we thinking about him. We should not give him any opportunity to think about us. But we are so useless people that we do complete nonsense activities, and then Krishna has to think about us. I should save him. I should help him. and we give anxiety to Krishna. Devotion is all about giving him happiness. But here we are giving him anxiety, and we are thinking completely the other way around. We want to be happy. And Krishna will be anxious. Come on. Is this devotion? If you think from that platform, if you think from the platform of Shuddhanam, what I'm just talking about, anything below that doesn't seem like devotion. It seems like anti-devotional. So from a lower perspective, from the stage of Namaprad, Namabhas stage might seem very glorious and very high, but from the stage of higher perspective, Shuddhanam, Namabhas is a very lower platform, and it is actually contemptible. You can say it's actually disgusting. Namabhas stage. So if you think like that, then the glories of holy name, that holy name will award you. Kleshagni Shubdha Rupa Goswami says, you chant holy name, all your material distress will vanish. You'll get auspicious qualities. You will get happiness and peace. All these glories of holy name, Gopi says that Krishna, you keep it with you. We don't want this. No, we can't be tempted by this. Don't tempt us by speaking these glories. You're trying to tempt us? This verse, if gopis read this verse, they will come to this conclusion: oh, you're trying to tempt us. Ajamil chanted with a sinful mentality, still he got affect, and he got liberated from birth. And he was saved from death. So that's not the point. Gopis will say, well, you're trying to tempt us. No, we'll not be tempted. We don't want death. We don't want release from death or something. We want you. That's all. We don't want you to serve us. We don't want you to think about us. We want that we should think about it. Even if you don't think about us. That is what is Mahaprabhu's gift. So if you look from the eyes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's a very different game altogether. It's a game-changing perspective. If you look from the eyes of Chaitanya Charitamrita. But if we read Bhagavatam from our own eyes, then we will not understand anything. That is why it is said. It is said. Prabodhanand Saraswati, he quotes a verse in Chaitanya Chandramrit. Yeah. He says, well, you can do any amount of worship, you can do any amount of chanting, you can do any amount of sacrifices, you can do any amount of austerities, but without connection with Lord Chaitanya, we are going nowhere. We'll never attain Krishna. So what do we mean by connection to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? The meaning is to connect with the ideas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with his teachings, with the conception. Connection with the conception is real connection. That's the real conception. Conception, the divine conception, the conception of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. That is a real connection. So that's why this verse is very complex. We have to understand from all angles, and then we have to take decision what to do. This verse is a good news. At the same time, it's a bad news. And at the same time, it's a news which should make you thoughtful what exactly to do. This verse is all about. It's not an easy verse to just read and just pass by. It's not like that. Okay, I'll end up here. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much, Prabhu, for a wonderful class. Basically, this is the basis that when we do chanting, there are 3 stages. Namakshara has 2 parts, Namabhas and Namaprat, and then Suddhanam. I think we should aspire for at least aspire for a Suddhanam. Navambhas and Namaprat is not good, and Namabhas is like asking service from the God instead of we serve God. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for so much beautiful, and which is very, very important, crucial to to progress or to get the love of God. The chanting of holy name to attain to the Suddhanam stage. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Devotees, if you have any questions, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
In the very beginning, you were saying that we're not merely supposed to chant the names. You used a word and you repeated it a couple of times, but I couldn't catch the word. You said we're not to chant the names, but to entrust the names. Do you remember?
I told that we are not supposed to chant the holy names. We are supposed to develop interest in chanting of holy names.
Oh, interest. Okay, that was the interest. That was the word I couldn't catch. Okay. Yeah, and so to even as we learn, we're not supposed to chant in order to get something in return.
Mataji, one thing, if you're comfortable, can't we see you? This is like it's good to talk face to face.
No, that this is actually the best time for me. Okay, all right. Here's my video. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Okay, that's great. Fine.
Yeah, so we are not to chant in order to try and get something. The idea is to develop a loving relationship. So if we chant with the intention of trying to get love for Krishna, then that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not okay, but that's the point there. Anything less than that is nonsense.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much for setting our minds straight.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jyoti Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is, I'm not at that stage that I should ask this question, but still, at the starting of your lecture, you have mentioned that we are not supposed to use Mahamantra. We should serve it, but actually, practically, we are using it because we know now after being having spent little time with devotion, now we understand clearly that we are using it. I know that this is a service. Still that attitude or that affection has not yet seen or developed. I'm trying it, but then of course I have a demonic mentality because no matter how much I try, it will be at the same.
Ask the question, otherwise you'll give a whole seminar again.
No, my question is, you are saying that we should not use it, but we are using it, right? This is the question.
So what's the question?
Every day we are using it, I mean.
So don't use it, that's all. Simple answer. Try not to give service to holy name, try to serve it, and slowly we'll get up of this. It's not one night job, it's not even one lifetime job. So we have to try and try, we'll fail, we'll try. But we should never get dejected and depressed that I can't do it and I'm like wasting my time. That is illusion. So we'll try and we'll fail, but we'll try, we'll do our best, and that will give Krishna happiness that at least this person is trying even after failing, and at least we understand what's the goal and where we are heading. At least it is good that you know what you're doing. Many devotees even don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. According to me, I don't know. I don't want to say anything, but according to me, devotees are not chanting. They are simply finishing their rounds. It's not real chanting. But they're of course good devotees also. I'm not saying they're all of them are doing that, but people who know, they are blessed, and you know things, so it's good. But then try to go forward with full enthusiasm, and that's it. Keep on trying.
Prabhuji, if devotion, if the service of the holy name is being stopped or not been able to do, so that is the aparadh that are coming. That even though if I try,
It's aparadh, but it's mostly, I'll say it's laziness. That's all. Offenses is a big word, you know. As far as congregation is concerned, it's difficult to do offenses. I think to say congregation is a weak, you know, like that sometimes they're alone and in the house, not like 24 hours association. So we become weak, but it's not that you don't want to chant, but circumstances are like that. We become lazy and weak. So I would put it, it's more of weakness and laziness. That's all.
but Prabhuji, I'm not lazy about it. I have not
Well,
seen it. I have seen that a lot of troubles are coming and not able to cope up.
Well, our heart is lazy spiritually. We are spiritually lazy, not materially, but we are weak. We are weak, and as far as spiritual things are concerned, we are lazy. So all of us, not you, all of us, people who are 24 hours engaged, they're also lazy in one sense or the other. Otherwise, you see great devotees like Mahaprabhu's Parshadas. They, to attain Krishna, they just did unimaginable things. They just went and they sacrificed their lives and they died and what not they did. But we don't have that kind of zeal to attain God. So we attach to our own family, our body, our things. So what about great saints who just left their house overnight and they just went to mountains and they didn't care about food and anything and no fear? We are not at that level. Of course, none of us. So we should admit that, okay, so we are seeing from the higher perspective, not from lower perspective. Never see your life from lower perspective. We will be in a wrong position. From a higher perspective, what we are not doing things properly. So that gives us enthusiasm. Okay, let's go forward. That's all. That's how it goes. Keep hope. There's a hope and patience and enthusiasm. That's always there. In a situation which is completely hopeless, and that is, still there is a hope. And that hope carries us forward. And Krishna will be merciful to us one day. That should carry you forward.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. This is everybody's question, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Mataji. Balram Prasad, Prabhuji, please go ahead, Prabhuji. I think I have one more hand.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Keshavanand Prabhu. Nice to hear your lectures today. I have a mentality that, you know, from my childhood to till today, because you gave that example of mother and mercy, parents' mercy. I think I was thinking about, I have taken it at a granted, no matter what, anyway it will come, right? So that's the mentality. My mom, even somehow in my life, whatever I do, somehow it's kind of a grace period. Even exams are grace. If I get 35 out of 100, I'm good to go, no matter what. What's the big deal in it? So that mentality has continued in my life. And I'm thinking, if you don't know anything, that's different. But now coming to ISKCON and so many marketing calls like, hey, this is inspiration. Just chant the holy name. Nobody said like you today, right? Yeah. So how do I get out of this mentality? Because everybody say, hey, just chant the holy name. It's great. Yes, Bhagavatam also says them, but the way you explain it's pinching me. So how do I get out of mentality?
This thing, we can overcome this thing. There is one way, I'll tell you. We should read the lives of great saints. And that inspires us. For example, you can go on net and read the lives of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates and what they did in their lives of Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas, Sri Vaishnavacharyas, Madhvacharyas, Sampradaya, Nimbak Sampradaya. And then automatically our goal will be set high. So if we associate with people who are at that level, we'll desire for that, then this mentality will be easily overcome. So that's some homework has to be done. Just read about saints, great saints in the past, and assimilate what they did, what kind of sacrifice they did in their lives, and we'll be inspired.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Vamshidari Gopal Prabhuji, please go ahead with your question, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandvat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yeah, means I think this class was for me in a sense because 2 weeks ago I read the article of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur on ISKCON Desire on the same topic, mechanical chanting. And in that, he very specifically said that just chanting the akshar is not chanting, just the way, the same thing is explained. And I was so perplexed and I was just looking for some explanation and some purport on it. Like just by reading the article, I couldn't get a gist of it. So I was just looking for somebody that, okay, who can explain me what actually he's trying to convey through that article. Because everywhere we hear that, okay, Naam is everything and just you chant and everything is fine and everything. So thank you so much, first of all, for explaining it so thoroughly. So my question is that you said that we fluctuate between Naam Aprad and Nama Bhas during whole day. So morning chanting, we try to do it in a more sattvic way and more concentrated and everything in a perfect time. But we try, like for me, like I try to chant throughout the day also, like whatever I'm doing. But at that time, it's definitely Naam Aprad because I'm not putting my concentration. It's just that my tongue, I'm trying to just do the Naam Akshar all the time. So just to clear my understanding, does Naam Aprad breaks you down in any way, or it is still auspicious and it is still take you forward? No.
Naam Aprad will take you down. That's why it's Aprad.
So should we not do chanting in such way, like doing something else? We are chanting, driving, we are chanting, like extra rounds, and like every time we are just trying to chant the names so that we can remember.
But we should not purposefully make a habit of just chanting without attention.
Okay.
That should not be there. I mean to say, okay, even if 16 rounds are happening in your car, that's a very
that I'm not talking about. So 16 round, absolutely no compromise on that. But
so that's the idea. Rest of the time we can chant, but you see the point. Offense is when we are doing something willfully.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So that's called offense. So if we are planning that, okay, whole day we can chant while walking and talking and just like 16 rounds, like some devotees, many devotees do like that. Okay, 16 rounds they count like in that. Of course, people's lives are very complex in this age, and people don't have time, and they have to finish their rounds and this and that. But Yamraj will not ask you what kind of life you had. They don't think about that. So, and if we make a habit out of it, and if we say, okay, things are going on, then that will come in offense. Otherwise, we can chant anytime, but and as far as possible with attention, we chant.
Right.
You see, one point is that we will never come out of aparadh if we don't have feelings for chanting.
Right.
Because attention, you can't pay attention like always, it's not possible. But if you have feelings, then automatically attention comes. So that is why Mahaprabhu said it's necessary to chant holy names with love. And love is a very big word, but I'm using in a very general sense. I'm not using in a very specific literal sense of love. So if we chant like that with feelings of surrender, feelings of humility, feelings of separation, these all kind of feelings graded, upgraded, then we can chant always and our attention will be there on holy names, and will not be implicated in any kind of nama path. So we can do that. That's okay.
Yeah.
Provided we chant our rounds nicely, and then 24 hours. It's Mahaprabhu's instructions.
Yeah. Right.
But we should not be satisfied that we are chanting 24 hours. That's the idea. If we are satisfied, then slowly over the years we'll slide into offenses. Because we are satisfied, okay, I'm chanting 24 hours. So I don't need to develop the quality of my chanting, or I don't need to develop Nam Ruchi. I don't need to. Then holy name will think what kind of person he is. He's satisfied chanting 24 hours, and he doesn't think what I want. From Krishna's perspective, if you see, okay, so that means he's interested in himself. His chanting, he's not interested in my commands or my desires. Then slowly it will go into offenses after years.
Yeah. So thank you, Prabhuji. So what I understood that instead, like not doing consciously inattentive chanting, but let's say there is situation where you have nothing else to do, and you can't even focus doing chanting, then at least doing nothing or thinking something else in your mind or doing something else and not doing nothing, at least chant if it's coming naturally. So that way it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful question. You could answer, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prahananda Das Prabhuji, please go ahead, Prabhuji, with your question.
Thank you very much, Mataji. And Danvat Pranam to Keshavanand Prabhuji and all Vaishnavas. Prabhuji, my question is simple. That is there any way that one comes to Prem of Bhagavan Krishna without passing through these 3-4 stages, offensive, aparad, and all this classification you give? Is it possible for me to come to that stage without going through all this stages? So
you're asking a question. Okay, I'll answer your question. Suppose when we eat food, the first stage is it goes in a mouth, the second stage is goes in a stomach, and third stage is it goes into blood. So you're asking, is there any way that the food directly goes in the blood?
No, there's no way.
So actually, you know what? These are not stages, but these are levels of consciousness. New devotees, they think these are stages and this stage, but that's not the point. These are levels of consciousness which we are trying to put in words and trying to give a abstract understanding. Okay, here you are, because we can't see consciousness. Consciousness cannot be objectively measured or quantified. So these are some concepts given to us to understand what is happening in a mind. And if we understand these concepts, then we can see what's happening in a mind, and we can purify our mind. And then when a mind is purified, then it's ready to receive Krishna. So we can say, okay, fine. Whether we understand these stages or don't understand these stages, but nevertheless, things will happen as it should happen, even without understanding the stages. Even if we don't understand first stage is food, mouth, then stomach, then blood, but that's going to happen because that's the process, that's the law. So it's good to understand, because we can analyze ourselves where I am, because it's very easy to get deluded, especially we have false ego. So it's very easy to get deluded. Well, I am above my adhikar. That's what false ego does. False ego makes us think we are above our eligibility, adhikar, always. And that's a big problem. So that is why it's very important to understand. Otherwise, Maya will confuse us, and we'll spend a whole life in an illusion that I'm okay, but at the time of death, it's a bad news. They will tell you, you're not okay. You were never okay. What do you think?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I understood one thing today, that I was taking service from Lord Sri Krishna by chanting his name with his aparad. So from today, I'll try to improve and see, this was eye-opening for almost all of us, especially for me when I heard all these, statements about. So this is actually a good lesson for me to start improving on my consciousness while chanting. So thank you very much again, Prabhuji. Very good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Wonderful answer. Wonderful question too. I have some questions in the chat box, Prabhuji. Is that okay to read those questions, Prabhu, from chat?
Yeah.
I think it's just the comments. So, Mega Mata says, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. What an amazing class to serve the holy name, not just chant. Develop interest and don't give anxiety to Krishna. Rather, try to please Krishna. He will automatically think of us. We don't have to ask him to think of us. Just amazing. Thank you for your decision, Prabhu. This is Mega Mataji and Raj Prabhuji mentioned beautiful class. Shiromanand Mataji, Dandavat Pram, beautiful class. And Sukhasagari Mataji is telling that Utsahan Nichayat Dhairyat. I think this is one devotee. How can we get this? So I think Jyoti Mataji says, if you finish chanting, chanting will finish you. So Vamsidhar Prabhuji put something on Sri Bhakti Siddhanta on the mechanical chanting. This is Hare Krishna articles. So I think
there's no question.
Yeah. There's no question, Prabhu. I think all these are comments. I think.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Devotees, if you have any other questions, if not, we can pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Vancha, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevcha pavanebhyo namo namaha. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Keshavanand Prabhuji ki jai. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So now we'll go to the Rajamandal Parikrama by Padmasaki Mataji. Mataji, please take over the Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Mr. Parikrama.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. We can start.
Yes,
Hare Krishna, Padmasaki Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you all so much for staying back. We will continue with the Rajamandal Parikrama.
Hare Hare.
We will continue our day 9. We'll finish day 9, 10 and 11 today. So we stopped at Radha Kund and from there we'll be going forward. So we'll seek blessings of Shri Radha Shyam Sundar, Shri Gaur Nitai, Shri Krishna Balaram, Shri Vrinda Devi, Srila Prabhupada, all the Guru Parampara to assist us in our parikrama. So from Radha Kund, so we finished Govardhan and then we finished, we saw the parikrama around Radha Kund and from there we will start coming. So this is Govardhan town and we were at Radha Kund. So we'll take this path and on the way we will see Gantuli Gram, Gulal Kund, Bahaj and then we'll come to Deeg. So what is this Gantuli Gram? Gant means not and we know we have just seen Radha Kund. So near Radha Kund on the west side is called a place called Julan Sthali, like where Radha Krishna do their Julan pastimes. There are various places, but near Radha Kund also they have one place called Julan Sthali. So one time when Krishna and Radha Rani are on this swing, gopis were assisting, teasing, they were all playing. Some naughty gopi will come and tie a knot with Krishna's chadar and Radha Rani's sari pallu, like how they do in the weddings. They call it Brahma Mudi, right? For the bride and bridegroom. So like that, she will tie it. And then when they realize, that was a naughty gopi did that. So because that pastime happened here in this place, it's called as Gantuli Gram. Gant is knot.
Yeah, that's why Mataji we call him Radha Damodar, because he died with Radharani's, they make a knot. That's why.
And see, this is Gulal Kund. So here we have Gulal Kund also. So after this pastime happened, all the gopis were very happy, naughty, and they all made Holi. So even in this village, even till now, they celebrate Holi very nicely. Like all the Vrajvasis come, whoever can come, and then they do it very happy. I was watching some videos, like Holi celebration is a very big celebration here at Gulal Kund, and because there were a lot of colors, Gulal color, so many colors, pink color, red color. So this village is called, like this place is called Gulal Kund. You're seeing it right here on the screen. And here what happened, we have recently seen Madhavendra Puri at Govindakund. He gets a dream, Gopal saying that I am under the ground, so please bring me out. So Madhavendra Puri goes with the Vrajavasis and brings the Gopal deity out and started establishing a temple. So the temple has been established on top of Govardhan hill. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never stepped on Govardhan. Like our Sampradaya, we don't do that. But some other Sampradayas, they allow. So they do climb on Govardhan hill. But we don't do that. So he wanted to have darshan of that Gopal deity, but he couldn't go because it's on top of Govardhan hill. He can't climb. So what happened? The deity wanted to fulfill the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he will come in because our Muslims attacks were already happening. He will come in the dream of the pujari and start saying, "Oh, this Turkish people are going to come. These Muslims are going to come. They're going to destroy me. So please take me out from here." So that dream, and they will bring him down from the Govardhan hill to this village. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually came to know that the Gopal deity was brought down from Govardhan hill. So he will come and take darshan of Gopal deity in this place at Gantuli Gram, Gulal Kund, in this. So he will come and take darshan at this place. So we also have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's footprints here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's place. Okay. And this is that Kund, Gulal Kund. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with such a respect, like he'll go to Mansi Ganga, then he circumambulates Govardhan hill, and then he will come take darshan of this deity, Gopal. This is the village, just pictures of Gantuli Gram. And then there's a place called Bahaj. So what happened when Indra was coming to ask for forgiveness from Krishna, he has his Airavat. So he didn't go with Airavat. He left Airavat here at Bahaj. He went to Surbi Kund. He took Surbi and then went to that Govinda Kund we have seen, and then he did Abhishek for Krishna. So this place, the Airavat was staying, and he came.
What happened, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, seems like Mataji is frozen. Maybe somebody should call.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Vinita Mataji, do you want? Do you want to call Mataji?
I'll call her.
Okay, yes, Mataji. Oh. Mataji got dropped off. I think her connection had some problem.
Mataji, am I audible now?
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you.
Yes, Mataji.
I'm so sorry. I don't know. I just got kicked out. Mataji, can you give me host? I'll share the screen.
Yes, 1 second.
So here there is actually Balabhadra Kund and Revati Kund also at Bahaj, and it is said that Vajranav also did his bhajana sadhana here. And there is a temple now, Radha Kant deities are there. So Radha Kant deities are there here. This is the temple at Bahaj. These are not very well-known place, very, very small, remote villages. Please make a note. If you're going next time, you can visit these places. And this is the deity of Balaram, Revati. This is a small temple. Bahaj village. See, by seeing the pictures, you can say it's very, very small village. This is Revati and Balaram Kund. And then from here, we will be going to Deeg. So Deeg is in Rajasthan. So it's very interesting that Krishna would all the way come from Gokul, Nandagaon, all the way till this Deeg. And for us to take parikramas today is what day? 9th or 10th day. So basically, if you're going on a walking path, it takes so many days to come all the way till here. But Krishna would come in the morning and go back in the evening. The Acharyas explained because Vrindavan is in the shape of a lotus. Lotus, when it's open, it's wide. But when it closes, it comes close. So it used to help Krishna for, it opens and closes. If Krishna wants to go back fast, it kinds of closes. So quickly Krishna can go back home to Gokul. So that was a service Vrajadam used to do for Krishna. So this Deeg, you will see a lot of Jal Mahals here. Olden days, those days when the Rajput kings, they were there because of the wars and enemy attack, they used to build their palaces in between water, because with water, the attackers, the enemies, they would take some time to come. So that's why we'll see Jal Mahals here. And as such, Rajasthan, Jaipur, that area is very well known for the buildings and huge, nice constructions. The architecture is very beautiful place. So we are seeing these Jal Mahals. Now nobody stays there, but they are still there. And the famous thing is Gopal Bhavan. There used to be a Krishna consciousness king here in 1730, and when you go here, this is the place where most of the visitors also would want to see. It's like a very famous place. And in here, last year I didn't find this, but the beautiful deity of Hanuman, which is made with jade, a true pure jade. I'll show you. This is that Gopal Bhavan, and see Hanuman. You will see inside this Gopal Bhavan. And the building is also constructed in such a way that people from outside cannot see you, but you can see them. Because suppose the king, he will come to know that some other kings are attacking him. So from inside he can see, and by the time the outsiders figure out where to go, how to go, they can make some arrangements. So they used to build the palaces in such a way that they can see, but outsiders cannot see them. So this is pretty much from Radha Kund to Deeg. So we are in Deeg now. And from here, we will be going to Adibad. The first time, if anybody is hearing, like we do have Badrinath and Kedarnath in Vrindavan also. I didn't know up until I came to Krishna consciousness. For me, Badrinath means not even Krishna consciousness. Maybe 4-5 years when I first visited Vrindavan only, I came to know that there was Badrinath. Badrinath exists in Vrindavan. So from here, from Deek, we will be going to Badrinath. In between, we will see very, we are seeing Tankoli, right? So this Tankoli has big eternal Akshayvat, banyan tree. They put tree also here. We'll see the picture of that eternal tree as well. So now we will start and we will go to Badrinath. So what happens? So first we will see few facts, like what happened was, one time Narada Muni, he will go to Vaikunta and he will see Krishna, like Vishnu is nicely on his Ananta Sesh bed, Lakshmi ji is massaging. So he will go and tell, like, you have to do something for the mankind, like you should teach them, a lesson through your through your example. So you do something, then Krishna, like Vishnu will think, yes, I have to do something, and he will tell Lakshmi ji, like, you go to Nagaloka, you do your austerities there, and I will go find my place where I have to do austerities. So he will go, and then finally he will come to this place. Actually, this is called Adi Badri. So that means this is original Badri. The Badrinath in Vrindavan is the original Badri. And in Vrindavan, we find all the holy dhams. Name a thing: Haridwar, Kedarnath, Badrinath, Gangotri, Yamunotri. That's why it is said, if you go to Vrindavan in Kartik month, it is like you're going to all the dhams. So, and Vishnu comes here, but then by that time, Shiva and Parvati are doing their tapasya here. So there is, what will Vishnu do? He will come like a small baby. He will become a small baby, like, because Shiva Parvati are residing here, they have their place to stay. They have their place to do austerities. So he will become like a small baby. Then Mother Parvati sees the baby. His Holiness Indradumna Swami Maharaj explains all this in one of his lecture couple of years about Badrinath. So she will find the baby and she will take him home. Next day, after they finish their austerities, and when they went back, they don't see the baby anymore. Rather, they see the four-handed Vishnu form. Then they will understand this baby is none other than Vishnu. And then Shiva will say, we will go to other peak. So you can take this peak and you can do your austerities here. We will go to another peak, and they went to other place. And Vishnu stayed back here and he was doing his austerities. And Mother Lakshmi, when she goes to Vaikunta after some time, she didn't see Vishnu. She will search for him and she'll come here and she will see him in deep austerities. So she didn't want to disturb here. She will think, when I was in Vaikunta, what I was doing, I used to massage his feet, I used to do service. So now I will do a service in a different way, and she becomes Badri tree. So Vishnu is doing austerities, and like the tree, she will become the tree giving him shelter, Badri tree. So that's why he's called as Badrinath, the Nath of Badri, the master of Badri tree. So that is the brief history of how the Badrinath name had come. And in Badrinath, we know Nara is there, Narayana, both of them are there. So we cannot separate Narayana, Naranarayana. They are one of the incarnations mentioned, like Krishna's incarnations mentioned. So that is a small history, and then we will go. So as we are going, we'll see a village called Kogaon. Gaon is village. So this is very, very famous for milk sweets. And a small Radha Raman temple is also here. And Badrinath, we know usually it is said that when a devotee, like when in old age, everybody wanted to go Badrinath, Kedarnath, then the family will bid a farewell, because there is no guarantee that they'll come back. It's very austere, very difficult. Anything might happen. Every year in Chardham Yatra, some news will come, like something has happened. A flood has happened or an accident has happened. So very difficult. And in this Adi Badri also, amongst all the other days, this is little austere because there's a lot of climbing, so many stones. So little austere parikrama to Badrinath and Kedarnath. And so there is a village called Didavali. It is also called as Dadivali, Didavali. This is the place of Krishna's grandmother. We know Nanda Maharaja's father was Parjanya and his wife is Variyasi. So she had she was highly respected in this village. And while going to Badrinath, like Krishna and Balaram also would come and meet her grandmother here. Yashoda Maya, Nanda Baba, Rohini Mata, and seeing Krishna, milk would overflow from his grandmother and she would feed him milk. So Dadival, and here there is Krishna Kund also, which is very old. And here there's a very old Narsinghadev temple, and it is said Aurangzeb tried to destroy, but this temple was not destroyed. See, a Narsinghadev in nice white color. Actually, it is said, I was hearing one lecture couple of days, His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj was explaining that Vajrana, for every 3 forests of Vrindavan, he established one Narsimhadev deity. Like there are not just 12 forests, there are sub-forests, sub-forests. So every 3 forests, there was one Narsingadev, but now because of the Aurangzeb and Muslim attacks and the Britishers, most of the deities were lost. We'll see a couple of them. One is here, one is at Gokul, one is in Bhakti Marg near Yamuna, Radha Raman temple. So a couple of them are still there. Actually, when I'll tell you, I'll show you one picture of Narsinghadev near Radha Raman temple at Bhakti Marg. Very interesting. Just wanted to share. Where is that? If any, I have not been to this, but I just came to know that this temple is there at Radha Raman, near Radha Raman. So if you see, it's a Swayambhu Murti, and it was found in Yamuna 600 years ago. And in Narsinghadev in 2 hands, because Narsinghadev, he came to kill Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu has a boon that he should not be killed in the daytime or in the noon time. So when sun is existing, he should not be killed. When moon is existing, he should not be killed. And that's why in that transition phase is what he got killed. So Narsinghadev is holding sun in one hand and moon in another hand. And with the other 2 hands, he will be killing, we'll be seeing he'll be killing Hiranyakashipu. Here, picture, this is the picture with the dress. There is sun, there is moon, and with the other 2 hands, we'll see like he's ripping Hiranyakashipu. Just wanted to add this. If anybody is going next time, please take darshan. You please check, ask the local people and go. And it is said Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he was the one, like Radha Raman deity was from one of his shaligrams. So he used to visit even this temple, this Narsinghadev. Just wanted to show. Sorry. Okay. So, so this is Badri tree. This is how Badri tree looks like. So we'll see Narsinghadev, and because Narsinghadev removes all the obstacles, he is also going to remove the obstacles of Badrinath Adi Badri Parikrama. We'll take his blessings. The devotees usually take the blessings and then we'll go forward. This is the temple. Prahalad Maharaj is also there. This is the small Kund. Narsingha Kund is also there here. So Narsingha Kund, and we are seeing the Vrajvasis there. And then we will enter the grove of Kadamba trees, lot of Kadamba trees. Now we'll enter into that nice forest area. And here is the place, actually, the gopis lost Krishna. We'll sing Gopi Geet, and the gopis were searching. So they come all the way till here, all these to these Kadamba trees, and they'll be singing, they'll be crying for him. In the forest near the bank of Yamuna, there are like many jeweled altars under this Kadamba tree where gopis joyfully serve Radha and Krishna with betel nuts, sandalwood pulp. So this is the forest. And here also, there are so many Rasastalis. Here is also one Rasastali for Krishna and the gopis. And we'll enter the village of Alipura now. From Alipura, it's just 1 kilometer to enter Badrinath. And yes, so even in Bhagavatam, they described about Nara and Narayana, very beautiful description. Their complexion, that one is white, one is black. They have lotus petal eyes, and they're holding bamboo shaft. They have 4 hands. They have prayer beads, deer skin. Nice description is given in Bhagavatam about them. And when Nara Narayana, what happens? Indra sends Cupid. Indra is always very worried about his position, thinking that they might conquer heaven. What he will send all these damsels, but rather instead of getting distracted, they will only create more heavenly damsels, and they will ask Indra, you pick one. So Indra picks Urvasi. So Urvasi is given to Indra by Nara and Narayana. And Uddhav ji, Krishna mentions he'll ask Uddhav to go to Badri. And actually, the Badrinath that Krishna was asking Uddhav ji to go was this Adi Badri. He gets an instruction. So Uddhav also comes to Adi Badri. That's why here in Adi Badri, you will see the deity of Uddhav, and even in Badrinath, there is the deity of Uddhav. And it is said like the Badrinath in the Himalayas is open 6 months for humans and 6 months for demigods. And they say after 6 months, when because of intense cold and snow, after 6 months when they open the temple, still the lights are being lit. Then who is worshipping? The demigods come and worship, and they say like they leave a lot of food also as an offering. The demigods come and cook and offer. So that is about Badrinath. And Madhvacharya also wanted to visit Badrinath. He wanted to show to Vyasadev. It said that Vyasadev is there in Badrinath, but very difficult to go. We only can go till Badri Vishal. We cannot go all the way. Humans cannot go all the way top to where Vyasadev is saying. He's still there, but we cannot go. So Madhvacharya goes, and one of his assistant wanted to go, but he was not able to climb. And Madhvacharya, being the son of Vayuputra, he's like tuck, 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 he's going. But his assistant was like, he's not able to catch the pace. And when Madhvacharya looks behind at his assistant, he will just do like go back, just one sign like this, and with just one blow he will come all the way down to Badri Vishal, that assistant. And this is the Gango, like you don't see the water flowing, there's no but this is the place of Gangotri, Yamunotri and Alakananda rivers. Here, this is the place in Adi Badri. This is the spot of Gangotri, Yamunotri and Alakananda rivers. And then we will go to Tapasya Kund. When we come to Tapasya Kund, usually there in Himalayas, because it is very cold, it's also there. Tapasya Kund is also there. Because it is cold, the water is very warm there. But here, because we don't have, there's no snow, it's not very cold. So the water is very cold here. The weather is hot outside, then Tapasya Kund is cold. When weather is cold outside, it gets hot. So this is a place where Parvati and Shiva used to do their tapasya and take bath. And then we will see inside Badrinath, we have Naranara and Parvat, and then Lakshman Jula. So Lakshman Jula is only like we'll see Lakshman Jula in Rishikesh, right? That means Haridwar. It's 6 hours from Vrindavan. If you go to Vrindavan, you take a car, it will take 6 hours. So Lakshman Jula is when Ram, Lakshman, Sita, they were doing their Vanavas. Lakshman actually uses his arrows and make this Jula to cross, but and he also performed penance, and this was on the west bank of the river. Actually, this bridge once upon a time was only rope bridge, jute ropes, up until 1889. But 1939 they used iron cables and they rebuilt this bridge. There's nice waterfalls also, and it is connecting 2 districts. And this is the place where Ram and Lakshman came and bathed to purify themselves after killing Ravan. So this is the Lakshman Jula there in Haridwar. You know, Srila Prabhupada also visited Haridwar, and when he was very sick, His Holiness Bhakticharu Maharaj mentions in his Ocean of Mercy how Srila Prabhupada was taken to Rishikesh, and Srila Prabhupada was against to take allopathy medicines, and they would say, Srila Prabhupada, you just take dip in water, like in this Rishikesh, in Ganga water, you'll be fine. And Srila Prabhupada spent like very last months of his very last months that he was present here on this earth planet, he visited Rishikesh. Rishikesh is also there here in Adi Badri, also it is there. And then see, this is in Adi Badri, Lakshman Jula. This is the spot of Lakshman Jula, and Lakshman's beautiful, cute deity of Lakshman is there. And then Triveni Sangam is also there here in Adi Badri. And then there is Dev Sarovar. So what happened in Dev Sarovar is, this is Dev Sarovar. So there is one sage called Ribhu. Garga Samhita explains this, and he is a very, very devoted to Radha and Krishna. And he did standing meditation, like austerities, for 60,000 years, and he wanted to see Radha and Krishna. And he thought he will leave his body meditating on Radha and Krishna. So he was closing his eyes, just envisioning Radha and Krishna, and he wanted to leave his body. But Krishna can do anything. He will remove that vision. Like the Ribhu sage, he closed his eyes and he was not able to see Radha and Krishna. And immediately he was like, what happened to my vision? I am not able to see them anymore. And when he opens, he will see Radha and Krishna directly in front of him. And he becomes so ecstatic, he becomes so emotional, and he circumambulated around them, and he will offer dandavats, and he left his body. So the sage's body flowed like this river. So it's called Dev Sarovar. It's there in Adibhatti. And now we are going to Adibhatti temple. So these are the steps, and this is the temple. And this is the temple altar. Ganesh, Nara, Narayana, and Uddhavji are there. This close-up picture. Very beautiful interior. This is all made with mirrors. Small mirrors. Very difficult to cut and do this kind of interiors. See, this all mirrors. Roof, walls, everything is with mirror. See, small mirrors. And then we have Yogamaya temple also here. And Badrinath is known for, very famous for peacocks. You can see lots of peacocks. And then there is an ancient, see the wall you're seeing here is the wall from 5,000 years ago. And during Krishna's time. And there is old Krishna Mandir here. And there is Mahadev, Shiva, Rameshwar Mahadev in Badrinath. And then old Lakshman deity is also there here. This is that small Lakshman temple. And these are the deities, Lakshman. This is how Badrinath village, when we are going, it looks like this. And we'll see a lot of palasa leaves. See, this leaf comes like this, 1, 2, 3. Every twig has leaves like this. And it is said that it represents Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Palasa tree. Goswami is mentioned in their book. And here in Badrinath temple, you will see on the interiors, you will see this picture. This pastime is, he's called Nagaji sage. His name is Nagaji. So 200 years he lived in Braj, and he was worshipping Radha and Krishna. And one day when he was coming, his jeta, because they have matted hair, it gets stuck in thorns, and he was not able to move. So what will he do? Without moving or without asking for any help, he will stay there without eating, sleeping, nothing. He's just staying there. After 3 days, on the 4th day, Krishna himself come as a little kid, and Krishna himself comes and he will ask, why are you staying like this? Why don't you, should I untangle you? He will say, no, who tangled me, they will only untangle me. So basically he's saying Krishna's will, this tangling has happened, so he only has to come. Then Krishna will say, I am only Krishna, let me do it. He'll say, I cannot believe you. If I have to believe you, Radharani has to come. If I believe like Radharani is there, then only I will believe that you are Krishna. So Krishna will go and bring Radharani, and then he will untangle his hair from the thorns. And the sage Nagaji, he got darshan of Krishna and Radharani. So basically, next forest that we will go to is Kamyavan. So we are on the borders of Kamyavan. So this place actually happened in that border. Like when we are entering Kamyavan, that is the past. Like this pastime happened there, but the pastime has been shown on the walls of this Badrinath temple. And then Gangotri and Yamunotri. These are the deities. She is Gangotri, and this is Yamuna. Ganga Devi, Yamuna Devi. So Gangotri is the place where when Ganga was willing to come to the earth, that's the first spot she hits, and that's where Shiva tries to balance her flow, Gangotri. And these are the temple, like Gangotri and Yamunotri. This is the temple. It's all forest and a lot of trees. footprints of Krishna. Krishna's footprints are there here in Badrinath. And then we were just seeing that Ankoli. This is that Akshay Vat, eternal banyan tree. See Akshay Vat. And then Hari Ki Paudi. That usually Hari Ki Paudi is there in Haridwar. That's the famous ghat in Haridwar, and they do Ganga Aartis also standing there. And this Hari Ki Paudi is the place, like they say it's a step. This is the place where Krishna stepped, or this is the play. These are the steps to Vishnu. We can say, like, consider in two ways. Some say in Adi Badri I was hearing, because Vishnu, like Krishna stepped to give his darshan to that Rubu sage here, so it is called Hari Ki Pauri, or it means like steps to see Krishna also. So in Haridwar, actually there are 4 places when Dhanvantri takes the Amrit that was that came during the Samudra Manthan. 4 places it got spilled, like the few drops fell. One is in Prayag, Nasik, one is at Hari Ki Pauri, and one more place I'm forgetting. At 4 spots
Ujjain.
the Amrit will Ujjain, correct. Ujjain. 4 space. So that's why Hari Ki Pauri is very important. And it said Pandavas, when they're going to Himalayas, they visited this place, and the 7 sages did their austerities here. And when Vidhur, Duryodhan, they all left the palace, they came here. So it's a very, very potent and very famous place. So that is also there here. So basically Haridwar is also there, and these are steps, like you go down to Haridwar. Not like steps, like the way, the path. And they say it's naturally occurring Ganesh. See, this tree looks like Ganesh trunk and Ganesh. These are the deities, and this is the camp. Those who come for Yatra, they stay like this. And then we'll go to Kedarnath. Actually, it is said when we go to Badrinath, like Badrinath, we'll get 1,000 times benefit. But when we come to here in Adi Badri in the month of Kartik, you'll get the benefit like 10,000 times more, even more, if you visit Adi Badri. So we also have Kedarnath here. Kedarnath kind of has a lot of steps. It's said more than 200 to 230 steps. And in this cave is where you will see this Shivling. Basically, you can't stand and go. You have to bend yourself. You have to crawl at sea to have darshan of the Shivling. And the Shivling, how come the shape has come? So one time, what happened? After the Kurukshetra war, we know that Pandavas, especially Yudhishthir Maharaj, was feeling very bad that because of him, a lot of havoc has happened and there was a lot of destruction. So many women became widows, so many mothers lost their sons. So he was feeling sad, and he wanted to come and convey his sorry to people, few people. He also wants to come visit Shiva, to ask for, like, to feel bad, like, to say sorry for whatever has happened. But Shiva was upset. He didn't want to give darshan. So when the Pandavas came, they came to Varanasi thinking Shiva is there, Kasi, Varanasi, but they will not see him. And then they will come to know he's in Himalayas, so he'll go to Himalayas. And then Shiva didn't want to give his darshan, so he will take the form of a cow. But Bhima will realize that, oh, this cow is none other than Shiva, and he will try to get hold of this cow. But he was not. There was a struggle. There was that struggle, small fight, like the cow, Shiva, who is in cow, like he was wanting to get out of Bhima hands, but Bhima was, who can get out of Bhima, is very strong. So in that little fight, what happens? The body of Shiva, like, because in that stretch, the body of Shiva is in Nepal, which the temple, famous Pasupatinath temple. And just the hump, cow has that hump was remaining here. That's why see Shivaling. Many times I also had this doubt why Shiva is in this linga form. It's like a hump. So hump remained, and then they worship. That's why we worship Shiva in this hump form, in this linga form. So Kedarnath is also here, and after Kedarnath, we'll take the path of going to Kamyavan. So Kamyavan is one of the biggest forests. We'll have 2-3 days parikrama in Kamyavan. We will see Kamyavan tomorrow. Thank you all so much. And Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. With your permission, we can see small 5-minute video. If you all have some time. Mataji will stop recording, then.
Yes, Mataji, I will stop the recording.
Can I share, Mataji?
Just recording.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Sorry, Mataji. Shall
No.
I?
Can I share the video or no?
Stop
Oh,